In the year of 2013 to 2014, a Ukrainian protest started to decide whether Ukraine should become a part of Russia or stay its own country. During the winter of 2014, what was once peaceful protest now became violent. Some protesters were for and some against Ukraine staying an independent country, thus starting a civil war among the Ukrainian government and the pro-Russian groups. The Americans supported the Ukrainian government during the civil war, while Russia supported the Russia's less anti-government groups. As people began to be displaced from their homes due to the violence, the Ukrainian government started gathering civilians at transport stations to be sent to the refugee camps. As the camps began to fill up, one transport station turned into a refugee camp because there were no more places to transport them to. The station overflowed due to not enough transport vehicles in refugee camps. They were given temporary living spaces made of metal containers that the government provided. The population of that safe zone was at the large number of 5,000 people. On the new year of 2015, simple attacks by pro-Russian groups soon escalated to full-scale terrorist attacks that inflicted terror upon the population of Ukraine. More refugees came through the safe zones, and the safe zone became more populated, turning it into a refugee camp. As people stayed at the refugee camp, the Ukrainian government started to install more facilities in the camp. Russia started to slowly make their way across the border of West Ukraine, taking over the peninsula of Crimea. In the year of 2016, the population of the refugee camp reached a whopping number of 35,000 people. The camp's population caused it to get noticed more and more and became named a refugee camp in poor state. Later, America noticed the newly made refugee camp. They saw the poor shape and famine due to the Ukrainian government being unable to support the camp. By early 2017, donations started to come in from America and outside organizations. The donations consisted of 9 food trucks that distributed food, water, blankets, and clothing. The donations also provided a new shelter called Better Shelter that provided living conditions for the people. Organizations also provided volunteer staff to help around the camp. By mid-2017, the camp reached a population of 45,000 people, and the refugee camp became more like a small city. Our refugee camp is located in the western part of Ukraine, fairly close to a city named Lviv. Currently, it is winter, and the temperatures range anywhere from 20 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. About 10 miles from the location of our camp is a river. From this river, we gather most of our water. There are roughly 9,000 homes for 45,000 people. The layout of the shelters will be 6 containers in length and 5 containers in width, making a neighborhood. We will have a total of 300 neighborhoods in the camp, 100 of them per section. There will be 3,000 homes per section. Hospitals and food dispensaries/storage zones are built from the same materials as the shelters that are being provided. There are 3 hospitals, 1 per section, and 6 food dispensaries, 2 in each section. Also being provided is security and school zones. Security has 1 zone by the entrance, 1 zone by the exit, and has 1 near the center of the entire camp. Schools zones are near the hospitals, also being at the center of each section. There will also be a zone dedicated to human waste disposal and a zone for trash disposal.
Now, a story written by Jose called Mars to Earth.
I had just gotten back from Mars after being on it for 550 sols. It felt great listening to some music other than disco and finally being able to sleep in my bed. Dusty, but hey, still my own comfortable bed compared to the cot in the hab. Waking up after what seemed like 9 hours of sleep, I got up and walked downstairs to make coffee. I grabbed my laptop and looked up the news. The Ukraine and Russian separatist war continues. Huh? I wonder what's going on over there. Right before I get up, the phone rings. Since I'm tired, I ignore it the first time. But then it rings again. This time, I'm sitting on the couch watching Looney Tunes. Oh my god, I just got comfortable. Getting up without effort, I pick up the phone saying, "Hello? Mark Watney Incorporated. This is Mark Watney speaking." "Watney? The man who survived on Mars?" "No." "Yeah, maybe." "This is no joke. We need your set of skills in a certain area. You were officially drafted to the Garden Special Forces." What the? What's the Garden Special Forces? Can't answer now. Pack what you need. My men will be there to pick you up in 2 hours. But, what? Bye. Well, I have no idea what just happened, but this was weird. I have so many questions and only a few answers, but no time to go through my thought process. Apparently, I have some random person from a random force unit picking me up in 2 hours, so that would be at 6, leaving me with only 40 minutes to pack and 1 hour to watch the Looney Tunes. Well, the 2 hours pass and there hasn't been a knock on the door. So, it came to me that this was all a hoax. In that time, I did some research on the so-called Garden Special Forces, and guess what I found? Yep, you guessed it, nothing. Nothing came up. So, I'm guessing they don't exist. After this, I heard a knock on the door. The knocking got harder, so I had no other option than to open it and see who it was. Mr. Watney, your work on Mars was outstanding. I mean, growing your own crops on a planet where there isn't any form of life? Truly amazing. Thanks, I guess. It was really nothing anyone couldn't have done. So what is it that you want me to do, and why do you want me to do it? Mark, currently there is a war in Ukraine, and well, an event has happened that has pushed people from their homes, leaving them without food or any essentials. As we speak, they are being brought to a refugee camp. What happened? Well, it all happened quick. Nobody saw it coming. It was 5 a.m. and quiet as always, with the only sounds being made were from the trees blowing in the wind, the birds chirping, the scratching of the leaves on the ground. Suddenly, you hear footsteps from what seems to be an army unit. As the steps get closer to the cities, all you can hear is gunshots left and right, homes being raided, a complete madness unleashes within 1 hour. People running, kids hiding and holding the hands of their parents. They came from the main river which splits the country into 2 pieces, raiding city after city, leaving no people in their homes. Where are they now, the people? Well, they all fled away, of course. Like we mentioned, they are all moving towards the camp for refugees. We need your help alongside my assistant, Mindy Park. I think we can help thousands of people. First off, who is this Mindy Park? What's she like? And what does she do? Secondly, how many people are we talking now? A few hundred? Try 5,000, Mr. Watney. And that is for now. How things are going, we can be looking at 30 to 40,000 people in this camp. As for Mindy Park, well, she's the person you talk to when you want something, although she's nervous and shy, but I think you can get through her. So what do you say? Are you willing to help those refugees? Let's do it!
Now, a quick interview about how things work at our refugee camp. Please get up and continue to the first poster on the left.
In order for your people to stay alive, they will need a place to live. So, what do you plan on providing as shelter?
We're going to use the 2 shelter types for more than just homes. We plan on using them for hospitals, security, schools, and food stations. Our first shelter option will be the Better Shelter. The Better Shelter can maintain a family of 5. The shelter comes up to 4 hours of usable electricity per day, which is provided by the solar panel that is located on the roof and comes with an outlet. Our second option is a metal shipping container. The containers are very roomy and can support a family of 5, but the setup of the shipping container is more complex than the Better Shelter. Spray-on insulation is used to insulate the shipping containers. We decided on spray-on because it's cheap and overall we will get the same results.
Interesting. Now, how do you plan to lay your shelters out throughout the camp?
We have 3 overall sections. In each section there will be 100 neighborhoods. Each neighborhood is made up of a 30 shelter layout, 6 shelters wide and 5 shelters high. In each section we have 1 hospital located in the center. There will be 3 schools, 1 in each section, located near the center of each section. There will be 6 food dispensaries, 2 in each section, located to the north and south. For security stations, we have 3, 1 by each entrance and 1 located in the center of the whole camp. We have 9,000 shelters, 3,000 in each section.
Please continue to the next poster on the left.
Even though shelter is
We
important,
plan to have people from the community of refugees with medical experience help us in any emergencies which may occur until help from outside organizations arrive. Another way to better the safety for us and our people is to have volunteer specialists focusing on social emotional issues such as psychology and counseling. We are planning to receive help from 2 other outside organization groups as well. Medical supplies will be provided by the organizations. Both organizations will be focused mainly on the medical emergency situations and basic health care. In our hospital zones, there will be the volunteer doctors and nurses alongside the specialists awaiting patients or any emergency situations.
Please continue to the next poster on the left.
great. But what if you need to communicate with people from far distances to get that help? How will you do that?
If that were to happen, there are a few ways we are able to communicate within and to the outside world. We will use 3 different methods. Our first method of communication will be to provide camp management and workers with walkie-talkies, which will be used to talk to one another from afar. Our second method is to have a small radio station where a worker will be able to transmit and receive messages to and from the outside. We will be able to transmit the status of the camp, keep people updated, and ask for help in case of emergencies or threats. Our last method of communication is to use the internet. Having internet will enable the people in the camp, the organizations, and the government the ability to talk, manage, and maintain things around the camp with ease. The people living in the camp will also be able to connect to the internet, use social media or other sources of communicating, and let family members know how they're doing. The internet will also be used to educate adults and children. People will be able to take online classes or look for job opportunities.
Please continue to the next poster on the left.
I see. And what about food?
In our ongoing efforts to provide and store food for ourselves and our people, we're going to have rations be provided by the Ukrainian government and other agencies. A few would be the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the World Food Program, and CARE. Each neighborhood will have a garden in the middle where they will be able to grow seasonal crops.
How will that food be distributed?
As a form of food distribution and security, we'll have ration cards for families, which they will use at the food dispensary to get food to cook at home. Another way of distribution will be 9 food trucks going around delivering food in a route with specific daily stops. And these food trucks are warm, ready-to-eat meals.
Please continue to the next poster on the left.
We all know when you eat, you create waste, if you know what I mean. How do you plan on dealing with this and other waste?
For the bathrooms, we will have a drum privy that consists of a toilet seat and a building placed over a bucket, which can be removed from the back of the bathroom. When it's full, it will be moved from site by a wheelbarrow and be emptied in a communal pit. For the garbage waste, we'll have small garbage bins all over the camp so that people have somewhere to put their trash. We will give people tasks to do such as helping clean up the camp so that they have something to help them overcome the trauma. This will provide refugees with financial aid. A rotation system can be introduced so that everyone in the camp community benefits from it. In total, we have 2 communal pits, which are smaller versions of a landfill. The refugees who volunteer will take the garbage bins to the communal pits and dump them. The communal pits will be at least 500 feet away from any better shelter or shipping container. It will be also fenced. After the trash is dumped into the communal pit, dirt will be put over to cover it and decrease the odor.
Please continue to the next poster on the left.
And what about your people's heat problems?
I'm glad you asked. To heat up our water, we are going to use a solar water pipe heater. This consists of pipes that are painted black and coiled up in a box with plexiglass on top. We have people checking the pipes daily for leaks and other malfunctions that could happen. The second way we keep the people warm is by using homemade kerosene and biofuels. The energy we get from the kerosene and biofuels is used to power small heaters and stoves. To do this, we grow pennycress, then we turn it into our biofuels in a small homemade biofuel plant. To make pennycress into oil, we boil the pennycress in water, which will distill it into oil. Then the oil travels through a pipe into a container. The third way that we keep us warm is by decomposing organic waste as a way to create energy and heat. It is also a way to get rid of unwanted waste. To make the gas, we have a methane generator. We take the organic waste, put it in the methane generator, and collect the methane gases made, which can be used to power cooking devices or power other heat sources.
Please continue to the built piece to your left.
That brings me to this. What is this contraption?
Our creation is a methane generator called the MPOP. It harnesses chemical energy and transforms that energy into thermal energy. We start this process by putting food scraps into a container that has been filled 3/4 of the way with water. As the food rots, anaerobic decomposition creates gas and sludge. The gas then bubbles up through a tube into a pressurized air tank where the gas is stored. When the gas is ready to use, it travels through another tube when the valve is open and the burner has been lit. There is a suction effect when the flame is lit, causing a constant pull of the gas in the system. In a rough estimate, we should be gathering 0.71 milliliters of methane every 15 days for every gram of compost in the water. There is a reason we have chosen a methane generator. It is because our camp needs to be heated, and it is an easy stove top for those who need it.
Have a nice day.